Russia's wider war on Ukraine is, more than anything, an artillery war. More to the point, it's an artillery ammunition war. The army with the steadiest supply of shells for its biggest guns has the advantage before the first tank or fighting vehicle even rolls out. Which is why it's a crisis that, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, warehouses are empty, and supplies of the best, NATO-standard 155mm shells are running low. And it's why one Ukrainian Territorial Defense Brigade has been bolting 75-year-old howitzers to modern utility trucks to create a whole new type of mobile artillery. The 1940s vintage Kansas 19 guns lack the range of, say, a new French-made Caesar-wheeled howitzer. But the Kansas 19 fires 100mm shells. So the 241st Territorial Defense Brigade, so far the only confirmed frontline user of self-propelled KS-19s, doesn't have to compete for ammo with brigades whose own guns fire the most in-demand 155mm shells. Bolting old guns to new trucks is one way Ukraine is addressing its artillery ammo crisis, while it prays for an industrial miracle to send manna from heaven in the form of a million or so 155mm rounds. The Kansas 19 isn't a bad gun. It's just an old one. Entering Soviet service in 1947, the 10-ton, towed Kansas 19 primarily functioned as an anti-aircraft weapon. But while it was designed to lob high-explosive shells at targets in the air, up to 5 miles high and 13 miles away, there's no reason it can't toss the same shells at targets on the ground. The KS-19's 35-pound shell travels at 1,100 yards per second. Effective against light armor and other ground targets, is how the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency described the gun in 1969. The Ukrainian Army inherited Kansas 19s from the Soviet Army when the latter quit Ukraine in 1991. The KS-19s lingered in storage until Russia widened its war on Ukraine starting in February 2022. It may have seemed, early on, that the Ukrainians strictly were using the aging KS-19s for gunner training. Then this fall, photos and videos circulated online depicting two models of Czech-made Tatra heavy-duty trucks with KS-19s bolted to their cargo beds. Integrating a Kansas 19 onto a flatbed truck solves one of the gun's major flaws, its mobility. An artillery crew normally would tow a Kansas 19 to a firing position, unhitch it, aim it, fire it, then hitch it up again and tow it away. The hitching and unhitching could add minutes to the time it takes a crew to shoot and scoot, and escape possible return fire. That the Ukrainians would bolt their KS-19s to Tatra trucks should come as no surprise. The 8-wheel Czech truck is popular in the Ukrainian armed forces. The Ukrainians use Tatras as the basis for rocket launchers as well as for the new, locally built 2S-22 self-propelled howitzer. Indeed, the self-propelled Kansas 19 in essence is a 2S-22 but with a 100mm gun instead of a more powerful, farther-firing 155mm gun. Both are manually loaded.